Okay, so we're going to take a flying leap away now from Dundee, and we're going to head to Glasgow, and we're going to go to Castlemilk School. So Lynn, we'll just get you to introduce yourself and to give us your presentation.
Hi everyone, thanks for having me here today. My name's Lynn Gibson and I'm head teacher at Castlemilk High School in the south side of Glasgow, for those of you who don't know it. Our school roll is currently sitting around 450 pupils, so quite different from the others. Smaller school roll, our BGE is sitting at 280 and the senior phase at 170. The majority of our young people are in SIND 1 to 3. Almost all of them in SIND 1, free school meal entitlement currently 43%. And we are in the very lucky position that all of our young people actually walk to school. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to show you what you're looking for today. We are not the finished article. We certainly don't know it all, but I'd like to share with you some of the thinking around what our plans may be for next week. Everything I'm about to show you is on the school website and other things go on daily, so please feel free to have a look at that too if you wish. We are in the very fortunate position in Glasgow, as you saw from the previous slide, that all young people have iPads and all of the staff have iPads, and we use a platform called Showbie to deliver the teaching, learning, along Teams is used also to teach. But in terms of giving feedback, Showbie enables us to give feedback effectively, voice feedback from staff, and the young people can give voice feedback too. So I'm going to explain what we're currently doing, which may be slightly different in terms of other people due to their iPads. Currently, we have, and I'm going to give you the current situation because I think that will then explain why it's relevant to where we're going to go. We split the day into two. 3 periods in the morning and 3 periods in the afternoon. So for the senior phase, and on screen just now you'll see a senior phase timetable. It's the current timetable. We've split it into columns like the others. So each young person in 4th, 5th and 6th year receives 15 hours of live teaching per week in the morning. And then in the afternoon, on the next slide, you'll see that they then do their coursework that's been set on Showbie or their practical lessons. So young people doing practical subjects are all in the afternoon. If they're not in the afternoon, then they get on with the coursework that's been assigned. And the next slide, you'll see our BGE is the opposite. Oh, sorry, it's not. Sorry, it's okay. I'll come back to that in a minute. Our BGE is the opposite. So they do in the morning, they do their coursework and they access the national e-learning offer and all sorts of other suites of resources that have been on offer to us at this time. And in the afternoon, they access 10 to 12 hours per week of live lessons. So what are our new challenges? For us, it was how do we continue to give that BGE provision of 10 to 12 hours a week minimum, whilst also maximising the senior phase experience at this time, getting them in with more face-to-face contact and also ensuring that they complete all of their practical coursework. So what is our plan? There's no easy answer. If we flip to the next slide, you'll see that our new one, the plan would be that the senior phase, 4th, 5th and 6th year, will continue to be taught in the morning. Rather than it being live lessons, it would be face-to-face. So that if you can see that they would have 2 double periods. So a double period, 1, 2, and it would actually be 3 and 4. So they'll have 2 double periods in the morning with staggered breaks in between. We'll be using all areas like other people, gym halls and so on. And where there's maybe 20 in a class and we're going to split it into 2 10s, every child has an iPad and earphones. So like some of the other schools, we will be teaching through the iPad and then the teacher will go between both rooms to check on young people. Likewise, for staff who are pregnant or shielding, they will be teaching their classes via the iPad, but the young people will be in school and we'll have teachers and support assistants supporting the young people whose teacher for that class isn't present at the time. This allows them then to continue with the time allocation. And it allows them then, in the next slide, you'll see that in the afternoon, they are continuing with their work that's been given to them and also their practical classes. Moving on to the BGE, I think now. So you can see there in the morning, they get the full range of subjects taught to them live. And then in the next slide, in the in the first slide it was the range of subjects they do, and then the afternoon it's taught live. Sorry, I'm not moving these slides here, that's why can we go to the next slide then now, please? Sorry. So for our BGE, it's quite different maybe from some of the others. In the morning, the young people will continue to complete their work on Shobi. First, second and third year will get one afternoon per week in school, and the focus is going to be on health and wellbeing. So they'll be doing PSE and a range of PSE activities alongside the work, for example, in Sustainability Scotland on the national offer. We will be providing, I know that young people are taking packed lunches home with them, we're just going to put one on their desk, packed lunch and drinks and so on. And we're also targeting young people for one-to-one sessions and for group work with youth workers, counsellors and the inclusion team. So all in all, our offer when they're in school is going to be all around health and wellbeing. However, the online live lessons in the afternoons will be able to continue with the young people, so they will still get 10 hours per week of online lessons in the BGE, and that was the way we chose to go in consultation with our staff, because we felt that it was maximising the amount of teaching time for the BGE. And on the last slide then, in terms of health and safety, that's enabling us to 2 metre distance. As I said, we are teaching across rooms. We will be continuing to use the iPad and earphones. They have got different breaks, so there'll be staggered breaks for 4th and 5th year. We've put our one-way system in place, and we have constantly been in contact with staff, young people and parents. And I think the key to all of this, as you know, has been our effective communication with all of our partners. Like Dunoon, we have a staff meeting again today at 3 o'clock to firm things up. And on the next slide, you'll see that we have really tried throughout this period to continue. I think on Dunoon's slide, they talked a lot about the learning and teaching. We've been doing a lot of additional CLPL around digital learning and teaching, but also our truly great learning at Castlemilk High School is based around those 4 areas. And this week we're delivering the last of those 4 or 5 areas in terms of upskilling staff and reminding them about the core business of learning and teaching, and that came from them, because I think when they've been teaching from home for such a long period of time, they've really wanted to re-engage with what good learning and teaching looks like and remind themselves of that and help them to get back into the classroom next week. And then it's over to you for questions. Thank you. Sorry, that was quite difficult there because I wasn't moving my own slides. Thank you very much, Elizabeth.
No, Lynn, that was absolutely great, and thanks, Elizabeth, for helping move the slides along. It's never easy when somebody else is in control of your slides. Again, lots of great things there. Again, very different context. Which is what we're seeing. We've got a school which is a lot smaller. SIMD 1 and 2, 43% of students on free school meals. All the pupils working into school, and of course, I think one of the things that a number of people on the call will be interested in is just how digitally rich your school is, along with other schools within Glasgow as well. But of course, it's not about a school being digitally rich. It's about how you've used that technology and dare I say, how you've built on the use of that technology during the first part of the academic year, so that the kids were ready during this part of lockdown as well. And when we think about your your sort of 5 principles of learning and teaching, focus on the learner, the questioning, the feedback, the active learning, all these things, thinking about how we do that in a face-to-face context, but also a digital context as well, I just think is incredibly important. And I noticed, Lynn, that one of the things that you said in the presentation is that there's no easy answers. But what I think that you've given there is you've given people lots of easy ideas, and they can take those easy ideas that are most relevant for their context to help them sort of build up their own local models as well. So